The soft hum of the café filled the air. Clinking cups, low chatter, the hiss of steaming milk. Emma Parker sat by the window, her fingers nervously tracing the rim of her coffee cup. She had arrived early, as always. Her chair was positioned perfectly, not blocking anyone's path, not too close to the aisle. She hated feeling like an inconvenience. Tonight was supposed to be different. She had met Jason online. They'd talked for weeks, long conversations about books, art, and life. He had called her fascinating, funny, even beautiful. But there was one thing Emma hadn't told him until yesterday, that she was paralyzed. From the waist down, she could still remember the pause in his voice when she mentioned it. He didn't hang up, but something changed. The next day he texted, "Let's still meet. I want to see you." So here she was, hoping he meant it. A few minutes later, Jason walked in, tall, confident, scanning the room. His eyes met hers briefly, then drifted down to the wheelchair. Emma noticed it, the quick flicker of discomfort that people often tried to hide. He walked over, gave a tight smile, and said, "Hey." "Hi," Emma replied, her smile genuine despite the knot forming in her chest. He sat down awkwardly, glancing at her chair again before forcing a laugh. "So, you really didn't tell me everything, huh?" Emma swallowed hard. "I didn't want this to define me. I wanted you to get to know me first." Jason looked away, pretending to study the menu. "Yeah, I get it. It's just a lot to take in, you know?" She nodded silently. She had heard this before. "A lot to take in. I'm not sure I can handle it. You deserve someone better." Always the same words, just different mouths. They ordered coffee, but Jason barely touched his. His phone buzzed twice, and each time he seemed relieved for the distraction. Emma tried to talk about her work, her art, her love of painting sunsets, anything to make the silence go away. But his eyes never really met hers again. After 20 long minutes, he sighed and said softly, "Emma, you're great, really, but I don't think I can do this. It's not you, it's the chair," she finished for him, her voice steady but eyes glistening. Jason opened his mouth to argue, then closed it again. "I'm sorry," he muttered, standing up. "I hope you find someone who can handle all this better than I can." She watched him walk away, confident strides, not even a backward glance. The door swung shut behind him, and with it went another small piece of her hope. Emma sat there for a long time, her coffee gone cold, the buzz of the café fading into a dull hum. Around her, couples laughed, friends talked, and life went on, as if her small heartbreak didn't matter to the world at all. She took a deep breath, blinking back tears. "You knew this could happen," she whispered to herself. "You're used to it." But deep down she wasn't. No one ever really got used to rejection, especially when it wasn't about who you were inside, but what you couldn't change. As the evening light faded and the first stars appeared in the window's reflection, Emma decided she would leave soon. Little did she know someone was about to walk in, someone who wouldn't see the chair first but her. Emma sat silently, staring out the cafe window as twilight deepened outside. The world blurred into streaks of gold and blue. Her reflection in the glass looked calm, almost peaceful, but inside her heart felt heavy. Another date, another disappointment. She wondered if love just wasn't meant for someone like her. She was about to gather her things when a loud crash startled her. A cup had fallen to the floor nearby, splattering chocolate milk in every direction. A little boy stood frozen, his eyes wide in guilt, clutching a toy car in one hand. "Oh no," Emma said softly, smiling despite herself. "That milk didn't stand a chance, huh?" The boy looked up at her, uncertain, then broke into a shy grin. "Sorry," he whispered. "It's okay," she said. "Accidents happen, even to the best race car drivers." The boy laughed, a clear, honest sound that warmed her heart. Just then a man rushed over, slightly out of breath. He had kind eyes, tousled brown hair, and an expression that mixed exhaustion with affection. "Liam, what did I tell you about running indoors?" he said, half stern, half amused. The boy pointed at Emma. "She said it's okay." The man turned toward her, his gaze landing on the wheelchair first, then quickly shifting to her face. Unlike most people, his expression didn't change. He smiled, a genuine, easy smile, and said, "Then I guess I owe you an apology and a new coffee." Emma chuckled. "No harm done. I wasn't drinking it anyway." He crouched to clean the spill, but a barista hurried over to help. "Don't worry," Emma said, stopping him. They've got it handled. Trust me, I've caused my share of coffee spills too. He grinned. I'm Daniel, by the way. And this troublemaker is my son, Liam. Emma, she replied. Nice to meet you both. Liam leaned closer, curious. Why do you have wheels on your chair? Emma smiled. Kids were always honest, refreshingly so. Because walking's not really my thing anymore, she said. But these wheels? They take me everywhere. Cool, Liam exclaimed. Can it go fast? Faster than you? Emma teased. Daniel laughed. Don't challenge him. He'll take that seriously. The three of them chatted easily, and soon Daniel ordered another drink. You mind if we sit with you? It's packed, and Liam won't stop talking about your super chair. Emma hesitated for a moment, then nodded. Sure, I could use some company. As Daniel sat down across from her, Emma felt a strange comfort. His presence was calm. No awkward glances, no forced politeness. Just warmth. Liam munched on a cookie, occasionally asking Emma questions about her chair, her favorite colors, and whether she liked cartoons. She answered each one, laughing more than she had in weeks. So? Daniel asked eventually. Were you waiting for someone? Emma hesitated, her fingers brushing the side of her cup. I was, she said quietly, but it didn't work out. Daniel nodded thoughtfully. Their loss. She looked up, surprised by the sincerity in his tone. He wasn't pitying her, he meant it. There was no awkwardness, no discomfort. Just a man speaking the truth as he saw it. Liam tugged his father's sleeve. Dad, can Emma come to the park with us tomorrow? Emma smiled gently. That's very sweet, Liam, but I don't want to intrude. You wouldn't be, Daniel said. We'd like that. Right, buddy? Yeah, Liam cheered. We can race. Emma laughed. Careful, I might just win. As they talked and laughed, the ache in Emma's heart began to fade. For the first time in a long time, she didn't feel broken or out of place. She felt normal, seen. And as Daniel's gaze met hers again, she caught something there, not curiosity, not pity, but a quiet admiration. She didn't know it yet. But this unexpected meeting was the beginning of everything she thought she could never have again. The next afternoon, Emma found herself at the park, something she hadn't planned on doing. She almost canceled, afraid that showing up might seem desperate, but something about Daniel and Liam had stayed with her. The warmth, the laughter, the way neither of them looked at her like she was fragile. It had been a long time since anyone made her feel like just Emma. She positioned her chair near the walking path, the sun filtering through the trees. Liam spotted her first and came running, waving both arms wildly. Emma, you came. I promised, didn't I? She said with a grin. Daniel followed a few steps behind, holding 2 cups of coffee. You weren't easy to find. I thought maybe you'd changed your mind. I almost did, she admitted, but I'm glad I didn't. They sat under a big oak tree watching Liam play on the swings. Daniel handed her one of the coffees. Caramel latte, right? I guessed. Emma's eyebrows lifted. Lucky guess, he smiled. Maybe. Or maybe I paid attention yesterday when you ordered the same thing. She laughed softly. Okay, now that's impressive. For a moment, they just sat in companionable silence, the sound of children's laughter carrying on the breeze. Daniel finally broke the silence. You know, I haven't seen Liam that happy in a while. His mom passed away 3 years ago. It's just been the 2 of us. Emma's chest tightened. I'm so sorry, she said gently. That must have been hard. Daniel nodded, staring out toward the playground. Yeah, it still is sometimes. But Liam, he keeps me going. He reminds me to smile. Emma watched the boy giggling on the slide. He's lucky to have you. Daniel turned to her. No, I'm lucky to have him. They shared a quiet look, one filled with understanding, with 2 people who had faced loss in different ways. He hesitated, then asked, Can I ask what happened to you? You don't have to answer if it's too personal. Emma looked down for a moment. It's okay, she said softly. A car accident. 5 years ago. One second I was driving home from work, the next, I woke up in a hospital and they told me I'd never walk again. Daniel's eyes softened. That must have been— It was, she interrupted, smiling faintly. For a long time I hated the world. I thought my life was over. People treated me differently. Friends drifted away. Even the man I was engaged to left. Said he couldn't handle it. Daniel frowned. Then he never deserved you. She looked at him, surprised by the conviction in his voice. He wasn't saying it out of pity. He truly meant it, I guess, she said, her tone light. I learned to live again. Started painting, opened an online art store, tried to rebuild. But sometimes, she trailed off, her voice trembling slightly. Sometimes I still feel invisible. Daniel's hand brushed hers, gentle and unhurried. You're anything but invisible, Emma. The world seemed to pause for a moment. The air grew still and Emma found herself holding his gaze longer than she meant to. There was no fear, no hesitation, just truth in his eyes. Then Liam came running back, clutching 2 flowers he'd picked. One for you, Dad, and one for Emma. She smiled, accepting the small yellow blossom. Thank you, Liam, it's beautiful. Daniel chuckled. Guess he's a natural gentleman. I can see that, Emma replied, twirling the flower between her fingers. As the sun dipped lower, painting the sky orange and pink, Daniel turned to her once more. You know, Emma, you make things feel lighter. I didn't expect that, she smiled softly. Maybe we both needed someone who understands what heavy feels like. Daniel nodded slowly. Yeah, maybe we did. And in that quiet moment, beneath the whispering leaves and fading sunlight, something unspoken began to grow between them. Something real. For the first time in years, Emma didn't feel broken. She felt alive. Autumn had begun to paint the town in gold and amber. The park where Emma first met Daniel and Liam now shimmered with fallen leaves, and the crisp air carried the scent of cinnamon and coffee. It had been 3 months since that first conversation. 3 months of laughter, late-night talks, and the kind of quiet companionship that healed unseen wounds. Emma never expected it to happen, but Daniel and Liam had slowly become her world. Every weekend, they met for small adventures and art fairs, movie nights, picnics by the river. Daniel never treated her like she was fragile. He didn't insist on helping her unless she asked, didn't pity her when she struggled. Instead, he watched her with admiration, as if her strength was something beautiful, and Liam adored her. He called her his Super Emma. Sometimes when she rolled her chair fast down the hill, he'd run beside her, laughing and shouting, "Go faster!" Those moments made Emma forget every painful memory that had once defined her. But love, true love, often comes quietly, and Emma didn't realize how deeply she had fallen until one evening. When Daniel showed up at her apartment holding a canvas, I painted something, he said shyly. Well, tried to. You've been teaching me a bit, Emma smiled. Let's see, Picasso. He turned the canvas around and therein her breath caught. It was a painting of her, sitting in her wheelchair beneath a sunset. The light hit her hair just right, her eyes soft but fierce. She looked strong, radiant, alive. You painted me, she whispered, her voice trembling. Daniel nodded. Because this is how I see you. Not broken. Not limited, just extraordinary. Tears welled in her eyes. No one's ever looked at me that way before. He stepped closer, his tone quiet but certain. Then they were blind. The world seemed to blur for a second, and the noise, the memories, the doubts, until there was only him. Daniel standing close enough for her to feel his warmth, his heartbeat steady, his gaze steady on hers. Emma, he said softly. When I first met you, I thought I was just meeting someone kind. Someone who'd talk to my wild kid and make him laugh. But you changed something in me. You reminded me what hope feels like, what courage looks like. Emma blinked, tears spilling freely now. You sat beside me when everyone else walked away. He smiled gently. I didn't sit beside you out of sympathy. I sat there because I couldn't help it. Something about you pulled me in. For a long, fragile moment, silence wrapped around them. Then Daniel reached for her hand. I'm not saying life will be easy. You've got your battles, I've got mine. But maybe we don't have to fight them alone anymore. Emma's lips trembled. Are you sure? Because my world doesn't look like everyone else's. Daniel squeezed her hand, his eyes steady. Good, because I don't want everyone else's, I want yours. Her heart swelled, overflowing with emotions she hadn't dared to feel in years. Joy, love, peace. She let out a shaky laugh, wiping her tears. You know, I used to think no one could ever see me beyond this chair. He leaned closer, whispering, Then I guess I'm glad to prove you wrong. Outside, the wind rustled the autumn leaves, scattering them like confetti. Emma looked out the window, smiling through her tears. For the first time since the accident, she didn't feel like half a person searching for what she'd lost. She felt whole. Liam's laughter echoed from the hallway as he burst into the room, holding a paper heart he'd made at school. This one's for you and Dad, he said proudly, handing it to Emma. She looked at Daniel, her heart full. Guess we're official now, she teased. Daniel laughed softly. I'd say we are. And as the three of them sat together, a woman once broken, a man once lonely, and a boy full of joy, the world outside seemed brighter. Because sometimes, love doesn't come with fireworks or grand gestures. Sometimes, it begins with something as simple as someone choosing to sit beside you and never leaving.